But it's a reason why in our courtrooms in America, we have admissible evidence and inadmissible evidence. And a lot of times people bring forward inadmissible information, like what you're doing now. It's not that we're attacking you, right? But in order for me to say, well, oh yeah, this is a bad woman, she did these things to your best friend, I need admissible evidence that actually refers to any information or material, not just thoughts, not rumors or Spanio's mouths that can be led to a fact finder, usually a judge or a jury, to support your case, right? Evidence to be considered admissible, it must meet specific legal standards, relevant standards, reliability standards. And at the end of the day, yours haven't met those. So that's all we're saying, that we listen to the story and we do feel sorry for your man's. But at the end of the day, I would think that this is inadmissible because it's not rooted in facts, unless he can come here and we can have a paperwork party, and then it would be actually admissible because he would have actual evidence to back this up.
So in other words, what you're saying is you don't believe what I'm saying. Because what I'm telling you, because what I'm telling you, whether it's
RM, it's not that we don't believe what you're saying. Any person that was listening to a case, even a jury, we wouldn't consider what you're saying admissible. Any judge, if we were judges, wouldn't consider what you're saying as admissible.
How many of you are judges or lawyers?
None of
that's not a question that needs to be asked. Like,
well, I mean, but
you're telling a story.
Well,
you had.
I'm not a lawyer.
About anecdotal.
Answer the question. I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. I don't have.
Okay, are any of you judges?
But I'm like, I don't care about what.
No.
And neither. So you're not a lawyer.
You're not a lawyer or a judge.
Right, and I'm not.
Right. So evidently, the judge found that it was okay for those children to stay with their mother, even though it's 50-50, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of whatever, because if they're 15 and 16 years old or 16 and 17 years old, they have every right to go stay with their father if they so choose for. And he can go to the court and petition them to come live with him. But is he doing that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay then. So we don't need to have this conversation. It's not ruining his life because he's able to go get his kids.
And the thing about it is, man, I'm glad that you brought that up, because the whole time I'm listening, I'm like, it sounds like he got a great deal, 50-50. And clearly he's not paying a whole bunch of child support, or if he's paying enough child support, because then she will be in her own house and her own space, to where they can keep the same lifestyle, regardless of which parent is with.
I'm going to give him credit because to raise children, he got to be getting money. He got to be getting money.
Right. But who is the... These kids are about to be out the house, off to college at 18.
Off to college. They're living.
Well, this isn't something new.
To do with anything.
Right. This hasn't been. I mean, you guys are under the premise that this is something that's been happening for the past 2 years.
He got divorced. You're trying to say that the court caused all this emotional damage and stuff like that. No, they got divorced. Some divorces are real clean and straight to the point, and other divorces are really, really messy. But to sit up here and act as if he got a great deal. I ain't hear you
really
say
did.
Alimony.
Wait. How many of you? How many of you?
Child support.
Don't ask us how many of us are divorced. Don't ask us no crazy ass.
Can I say something? Something before I want to let RM go after this? But like, for example, RM, I'm not sure if you belong to. Do you belong to any fraternities?
No. I'm 41 years old and I graduated 20 years ago. No.
Okay. So my fraternal brother, he's in the chat now. We belong to the greatest fraternity, known as Alpha Phi Alpha. In order, like, one of the things that, and Frat can back me up on this, in order for him to really validate who I am, I can give him my membership ID. He can validate where I pledge, who I pledge under, where I took my test at, who was my LBs, et cetera, right? Who was my dean, et cetera. So, it's not that, again, I don't want you to think that I'm attacking you personally, but
I don't think that at all.
Like that, right? Like, well, I belong to a certain organization, and then you find out that they don't. It's not that we never believe them, but it helps us. It helped us to believe somebody when they're able to substantiate something. That's all I'm saying.
No, and that's fine. I completely understand. I think that the inverse is true as well. As passionate as every single one of you is to saying, well, we don't know. You don't know the opposite as well, right? I don't think that I've said anything that denigrated the woman. I'm not saying that the court was wrong. I'm not saying that the court was right. Again, if you would just listen to what I'm saying as opposed to listen to just respond and just hear me what I'm saying. My whole point is that it should be looked at. Whether it's in favor of the mother or the father, it needs to be looked at. And the anecdotal experience that I have given, even though it's secondhand, I witnessed my best friend go through something that I feel could have been lessened. It could have been a little bit less based off of a re-examination of what actually works and what doesn't work. See, with all due respect to everybody on the panel, the justification for essentially not believing me is saying that, well, the judge said so, so therefore that's what it is. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is that is what the problem is.
I got something to say, please. Like, I really
Sure.
do. I'm listening to you. I don't understand why you just can't accept the fact that, you know, I'm gonna need you to bring him up here to substantiate everything that you're saying. Doesn't mean I think you're lying. Doesn't mean I don't trust. I don't know you, and I don't know him. So therefore, I need it from the source. You are not the source. You are secondhand. And also, you talk about this case. I'm just thinking to myself, if he's the better parent, why didn't he petition to be the full and sole time parent? Or why didn't the court find him the better parent so the kids can go live with him full time, not with her?
And to answer,
great mother. So therefore,
so to answer your question,
that time, 50-50 time. That's a great deal. His children are about to be older in 2 years, and they can be with him if they want. They'll be able to make decisions for themselves at 18.
Okay, so you're looking at this on the surface, right? You're looking at this on the surface
and talking to you about someone else's case.
But I do have a one thing I do want, like, before you address her, I do want to, like, it's a yes no question. It's a quick one. Do you believe that men should believe all women?
Do I believe that men should believe all women?
Yes, sir.
No. Just as if I don't believe that all women should believe all men. I think that everything needs to be taken within context. I think that question has been hijacked by a specific ideology that doesn't allow people to think for themselves.
I agree.
Because of the inverse. Because of the inverse.
Wouldn't it be important if a woman made something and said something, right? Wouldn't it be important for me to ask her about the proof? That way, we don't go down a path that we shouldn't go down. Wouldn't it be important for her to fully contextualize beyond reasonable doubt what she's saying to me before I believe her?
It's just as important for her to do the same for you. So again, it seems so then the question seems to be rooted in from an ideological standpoint, where it's, do you believe all women, right? Which infers that there's a side of misogyny there. When the real question should be asked, well, should we just believe people? Should we believe people as opposed to understanding the context?
Well, no,
because if you frame it that way,
we correlate it back to what's happening now. Why should we believe you if we shouldn't believe all women? You have not proven anything. Hold on, you haven't proven anything no different than if a woman come up here and say, Hunter Watts raped me and then he robbed me. I'm going to ask her the same things. Substantiate what happened.
Run it down.
So are you?
It's not real. It was a scenario. It's not real. It was a scenario.
So
it's not
is
real.
So I'm genuinely asking, had I flipped the story and said that she was the one that had to pay child support, and she was the one that had the 4-bedroom home and had the space for them, would your, to use what the young kids use now, would your smoke be the same?
Yes.
Well,
yes. I actually, RM, once you get to know me, I actually hate when people don't hold standards across the board.
So now, the reason why I position that, I'm playing chess right now with you guys. So
we all play chess.
So the premise of what I'm saying has nothing to do with the outcome of what my friend went through. What I'm simply saying is it needs to be examined because there are cases that are unfavorable to one side or the other that need to be examined, because just because there aren't any murders happening, there are suicides that happen because of family court law. So I'm not looking at this as a woman's rights issue, a man's rights issue, a feminist issue, or a manosphere issue. I'm simply saying that it needs to be examined because I personally have seen it. I've heard it happen. I've seen it on TV. I mean, in social media, we see it all the time. So it sounds like this is more of an ideological argument that you guys have, a more of an ideological stance that you have, as opposed to addressing the problem. And if you guys don't think now, I will say this: if you guys do not think
a problem, though,
if you don't think that there is, if you do not think that family court laws need to be re-examined, then that's fine. That's your prerogative. If you believe that, that's fine. I just simply think that they do.
No one ever.
And for someone to say, well, okay. So, but what I'm saying is, then it just seems like you do, because you're quick to tell me that I don't really believe what you're saying until I see the facts.
Database backs it up.
My point was that black women, 85,000, it says, at least per year, according to Secret Service data, are dying due to.
How many black men are dying from suicide from court? I'm just generally
again. Hold on. When you're talking about self-deletion, that's what that is. That's a self-inflicted wound, right? Femicide is somebody else choosing to take somebody else's life. You have to understand and agree that those are two completely different things, correct?
Oh, sure. In definition, they're two different things, but at the end of the day, the result's the same. Somebody's life has ended
because somebody chose to take their own.
Is one of them more justified?
Chose to take somebody else's.
Is there one more justified than the other?
Yes, it will be. Yes. Just because, oh yeah, my man's he got real sad and he offed himself. You think if your man's offed himself, his baby mama going to jail today? Do you really think that?
I don't think that they should. However, I think that the cause. I just said that I don't think that they should. However, are you not concerned with preventing suicide from preventing self-deletion?